Hello and welcome. Good morning. How are you? It's Monday. It's about 8:30 here in the morning at Site B here in, well, mostly sunny, kind of hazy, wherever it is I live in Southern California. And that means it's time for the very first thing we do every week. It's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game sales, charity thingies, and of course, you wait all week for me to say this, bundles! Yes, bundles. But first, this thing. This thing, as you know, is on the shelves randomly at local markets and stuff. Apparently, I'm the second or third person to stumble across this. For me, it was at Vaughn's. It was on the magazine aisle across from the greeting cards on the second shelf, right next to a thing about Star Wars, Vikings, and manga. Now, I'm very excited to see something like this on the shelf for gaming. I'm not sure why it would be this instead of Wizards of the Coast. I mean, you would think that would be the easy go-to. Wizards of the Coast would want to put D&D shit in the general population since they're all about, being a lifestyle brand now. But no, it's this obscure company. And I'll tell you how obscure it is. Topic Media Lab does not exist. I looked them up. Nope. If you go to the Topic Media Lab webpage, it's just basically a link that takes you to another webpage, which is the company that puts the magazines on the shelf. But it doesn't say where this came from. And if you go to the Amazon page for the actual product, of which this is a baby version of, there's very little information about who actually published it as other than names. But other than that, it's being published somewhere by someone. If you know anybody associated with this series of books and stuff, I would love to find out how this ended up on the shelves of markets. And if anybody else finds this out in the wild, let me know. It's okay. It's about 80 pages of just adventure stuffs. It's not, I think a lot of people were concerned it would be too 5e. I'm not sure what that means, but I guess woke or, forcing the agenda. But no, there's no agenda in here. It's just adventure prompts. No, it's nothing. No, I don't see any pronouns in here or anything. Just or safety tools or anything of that. It's just basically random encounters that you could throw in. There's probably better versions of this. I know you could find these hundreds of these things for free, but I was excited to see it on the shelves. And so far, I'm not disappointed. Is it worth $13? Probably not, but whatever. It's okay. So that is the first bundle. And again, if anybody knows anything about Jeff Ashworth or the Topic Media or the company that created these things, I would love to find out. I think we'd all love to find out what were the steps that got it on the shelves at a market. Some people have made some guesses having to do with, just mass media and politics and part of the collection. I don't know. I don't know how magazines appearing at markets work well enough to make a, other than basic educated guess, that maybe it was a mistake, a happy accident that, they just blindly order the packages every month of magazines. And they don't really pay attention to what is it in the packages. It's top shelf is all the important stuff, people and blah, blah, blah. And the bottom stuff is all the other stuff like baseball and sporting and Montana and whatever. And they're just part of a package. And this just came in the package and they just put it on the shelves next to the manga or Viking. What was it? Star Wars, Vikings, manga, and this so yeah. Probably that is the most likely, is that it wasn't an intentional. It was just part of the collection. But still, how did it get into the collection? That's still the question. All right, moving on to our regularly scheduled normal nonsense. Okay, we got a lot of system reference documents this week for some reason. First, in our freebies, these are all freebies that are available on DriveThru. We have something called Yet Another Single Sheet from MythForged, which is a single page SRD for some type of system. I guess it's their own system. MythForge also released something called High Stakes Role Playing, which is a Wild West themed RPG that uses a deck of playing cards. Wow, Wild West 3 RPG that uses a deck of playing cards? That's totally original. That doesn't sound like anything anyone's ever done before. I mean, unless you count Deadlands. We've got, for those of you who are perhaps not aware, there is a movie about Barbie currently in the theaters. It is the #1 movie in the world right now for mind-boggling reasons. And somebody has made a role-playing game based upon Barbie. This comes to us from Owl Night Games. It is called Dollhouse Drama. We also have something from Fox and Boar's game called Tales of the Hard Land, which is a dark fantasy RPG that uses D10s. That's free. We've got Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old from Hopeful Monsters, which is another OSR 1970s style sword and sorcery RPG, because there's not enough of those, because 7,000 OSR RPGs is not enough. Make another one. I mean, how many frickin' versions of BX can you guys make? Nuclear Sates has brought us to something called Fail Forward RPG System. It's a fast-paced narrative system for making system-agnostic RPGs with no real preparation ahead of time, and it's free. Midgar Press has released an expansion to the Dragonborn RPG with something called D100 Appearance Supplement, expanding the game's D20 appearance table on page 29 to a full 100 entries. So I guess there's a random table in Dragonborn to generate random appearances for PCs and NPCs. Sure, why not? 37, mole on nose. 64, red hair. Sure, why not? We got some Morkborg and Pirate Borg love from Carlton Hill, because we always have Morkborg and Pirate Borg love every week. This one's called Black Beast of Geldenbeck. Apparently sounds like a sea monster scenario. We've got a whole thing about goblins for Pathfinder from Geno O'Neill, Geno O'Neill. It's called Goblin Games, War for the Puddle. It is a first-level adventure dealing with goblins and their usual goblin stuff. I've also written some goblin stuff. It's on sale at Big Geek Emporium. We'll get to that in a second. Old School Role-Playing has released another Sephiroth engine for their not-quite Traveler campaign setting. This one is called the Tomagawa Corporation, and it's called Compensation. So yeah, expanding the Sephiroth Engine's Traveler adjacent universe there. They make stuff for Traveler and have their own little Traveler universe. Here's a expansion for a game that hasn't been heard of for a while. Monster of the Week from Powered by the Apocalypse. This is called The Hollow, and it's inspired by video games like Dark Souls and, of course, the Hollows anime on Netflix. And so, yeah, Monster of the Week, apparently. I mean, Powered by the Apocalypse has had a pretty good year this year between the Legends of Zelda on Critical Role that they did. And then Iron Mouse and a whole bunch of other VTubers just did an episode of Monster of the Week. So, yeah, I guess Powered by the Apocalypse is the new favorite RPG for YouTubers. And here's another one for Monster of the Week. This one comes to us from QRDL. It's called The Fear That Lurks, about aliens stealing cows. And it's also available in French. We've got some tavern rules for your role-playing games. This is basically specifically hangover rules. So if you want to add some hangover rules to your tabletop role-playing game of choice, Shane Zallo gives us the hangover role-playing mechanic. Moving on over to Dungeon Masters Guild. Speaking of Dungeon Masters Guild, I need to reach out to the Adventurers Guild people to see what Wizards of the Coast's plans for Adventurers League and Dungeon Masters Guild are after 2024, if they've heard. So if anybody is associated with the Adventurers League / Dungeon Masters Guild within the sound of my voice, has Wizards told you what the plans are for Adventurers League after 2024? I can't imagine they're good, but I don't know. Anyways, As Copy has brought us an adventure called The Heist of Sly Manor, which is a heist, because heist is a big thing in D20 lately for reasons. I have never run a murder mystery, or heist scenario that went well because magic circumvents pretty much everything. We have some tables for creating sentient weapons for 5e over at the DM's Guild. This comes to us from Michael Rollins and Caleb Wilden. It's called Sentient Weapons Sidekicks. Zevri Apocalypse has new rules for running memorable games and has decided to give us rules for inspiration to make the inspiration mechanics from 5e more useful. I forget, is inspiration going to stick over in 5e 2024? I don't remember it being mentioned in the playtest, which means probably, yeah, or some version of inspiration or luck points or something. Who knows? We also have another one for variant on currency and variations of inspiration called Fate Points. This comes to us from DM/. It's called Fate Points, a variant rules for D&D 5th edition, and it's another inspiration type modification for like luck and fate and dice changing and stuff like that. Jackson Cato has given us a 4th level adventure called Under the Beating Sun, which seems to be apropos since we are experiencing another worldwide heat wave. So this one is a heat wave based adventure where 40th level Fourth level adventurers are out to try and find a place to cool off, but things do not go as they seem. And then we have our usual selection of new subclasses. We have 4 new subclasses for 5e on the DM's Guild on the free site. As always, when dealing with the free stuff, whenever you see me mention these things, you can just go to DriveThru or DM's Guild. Look on the side where it lists the names of all the game companies. At the very bottom, it says free, and there's a big red button. You click that button, it'll take you to the page which has everything I have mentioned. These can be found on DriveThru or DM's Guild. Remember, these are PDFs, so when downloading PDFs, please, for the love of John Cena, check them for viruses and malware. You're trash. Bundles. We've got a bundle from DriveThru. This is the Christmas in July DriveThru. Link down below. It links to 7,600 titles. 70 or 76,000 titles, whatever, 76,000 titles available, markdown. A whole bunch of stuff. We got 2 I've never heard of. Cyberpunk. Anime Game of the Year, apparently. Fabula Ematuma, Worlds Without Numbers, PDF marked down to 14. Don't worry, the hardcover is still $60. So yeah, just look at this. There's a whole bunch of random stuff all marked down to clear out digital space for new digital space. And printo demands are also available for pretty much all of these. So yeah. If you've got any holes in your tabletop role-playing game collection that you're looking to fill, this might be a good chance to do it. And this is on DriveThru, which means it's PDFs, which means before you open any of these, check them for viruses. Then we have a sale coupon from Darker Hue. The sale coupon is called Summertime. If you go to their website, you can download 1 or 2 of their games, of which they made Haunted West or Harlem Unbound, plus the many VTT assets for it. 40% off if you use the coupon Summertime. There's also a D200 Cyberpunk bundle from RPG Gamer. This is available on DriveThru. This bundle is $10.50 and features a whole bunch of random tables for Cyberpunk or just any type of futuristic type game. There's a whole bunch of subclasses available on the Dungeon Masters Guild. This has been $4.95. Featuring tons of new classes for every class that is currently around for 5e. All, of course, pointless since they're going to change in 2024. So, yeah, I really need to reach out to the Dungeon Masters Guild Adventurers League people and see what Wizards of the Coast has said to them. Moving on to the charity bundles. As always with the bundles, maybe just give the money directly to the people if you want to support them. And the very first one, we have the Cursed Keep of Briarwood Village, which is a bundle to gather up funds for the passing of the 1-year-old child of the creator of the Cursed Keep of Briarwood Village. This all proceeds will go to the medical bills and funeral expenses and other mental and emotional expenses that the creator has accumulated due to the tragic death of his child. Wow, that's a hard one, dude. Our condolences and sympathies to the friends and families of the creator of Cursed Keep of Briarwood Village. So that's one where I would say, either buy the thing or just give the money directly to the GoFundMe so the guy can deal with this with as little extra stuff as possible. Just focus on dealing with the grief, dealing with the bills, dealing with the tragedy, and using the money to help support them during this time. So, wow, I'm sorry. Samurai Sheepdog has put together another anthology for the Owen Casey Steffens charity. Again, I would say just go directly to Owen's page and do it through his GoFundMe, unless you want these adventures. This is the continuing growing Like a Boss Book of Boss things. So these guys are constantly adding to this thing that's constantly growing. It's currently $15. It features articles from Pathfinder writers, Dungeons & Dragons writers, Starfinder writers, Cypher System writers, just writers and creators from all across the gaming community who are reaching out to support Owen as he battles against cancer, and more importantly, battles against the bills that accumulate when you're trying to deal with a disease in the American medical system. So $15, everything goes directly to Owen, and you can get this amazingly growing book, or you could just go to his GoFundMe and donate directly to him. Magpie Games has a bundle for Root, the role-playing game. I absolutely love the Root board game. I've had a chance to play it 3 times since it came out. I even won once, which is rare for me to win a board game, but I kind of think they let me win. Who knows? I still won. It's $15. It's direct relief, which means 10% goes to a charity of your choice, and it concludes everything, every PDF that they have created for Root the Role-Playing so far. We've got a STL 3D printer set over at Humble Bundle. $25 is the top tier. It gets you 140 sets of plans for miniatures if you have a 3D miniature printer. And so it's got figures like terrain, military, post-apocalyptic soldiers, vehicles, appliances, furniture, plants, fungus, just random stuff that you would see laying around in the post-apocalypse, because, nobody picks stuff up in the post-apocalypse. So $25 gets you the entire collection of 140 sets of STT plans, or I don't know how the magic of 3D printers work. But again, you're dealing with hardware and software, so double check all these files for malwares and all the other wonderful things that people can slide into programs to make your computerized life absolutely miserable. We have a brand new one. This comes to us from multiple creators of role-playing games. This is a OSR bundle from Humble Bundle. It includes up to 54 PDFs of OSR products, like for every OSR game you can think of: 3X, 5e, BX, D20 system, a lot of stuff from Frog Guide Games. And if you get the $65 one, they'll also send you a physical copy of the 580-page monster book for any RP OSR system called Monstrosities. And this goes to support various charities that help our veterans out. So if you want to get 56 OSR PDFs and one solid book of OSR monster goodness, $65. Or you could just choose to directly give to a charity of your choice that helps support veterans and the things veterans have to deal with when trying to reaccumulate themselves to the real world. And finally, we have from Gamesmith and Puzzlecraft, we have the Puzzlecraft Mastercraft Bundle, which concludes a whole bunch of guides and ideas and building things for how to build, create, and role play out puzzles, traps, and things like that. $18 is the most popular pledge, and this goes to various charities to help with literacy. Finally, some shameless self-promotion. All my product that I have ever created that is still available on Big Geek Emporium has been marked down to $1. Link down below. Each and every one of my minions on a mission. Well, most of them. Some of them have been deleted previously because reasons. everything that I've ever created that's still available is marked down to $1 each on Big Geek Emporium. It will remain that way till August 4th, at which point, August 4th, midnight, my birthday, I will be removing them and moving them over to another location. More information on that soon, including why I'm doing this. But for now, all my merch is on sale for $1. I have posted links down below in the comments section for the ones I think are worth it. So if you want to pick up any of these, let me know which ones you pick up and what you think of them. And if you don't want to pick up any of these, let me know why. If you appreciate me doing this every week, let me know. If you never want to see me do this ever again, let me know. Remember, this is your channel. I'm here for you. I don't do this for me because, you guys aren't paying. Just a subtle hint that I have merch that's available and I have ways you can support me, like subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet. So yeah, it's your channel. I'm doing this for you, not me, you. Except for that guy. I'm not doing it for him. That guy right there, yeah, it's definitely not for him. But everybody else, I'm doing it for them. Till next time, you know what to do. I'll see you all later.